animal crackers in...
Welcome back to CBS This Morning. I'm Harry Smith.
And I'm Kathleen Sullivan.
Shirley Temple Black's new autobiography recalls those days of Hollywood in the 30s, from the good ship Lollipop to Heidi's chalet in the outgrowth of a child star.
Well, like Mrs. Drew said, a little girl shouldn't be raised in this kind of environment.
Yes, you'll be much better off in that nice big house. Of course, it'll be lonely. There'll be no children to play with.
But I gotta think of the future, Professor.
Film in 1931 when she was 3, and for 4 straight years during the depressed 1930s, she was the #1 box office star in America.
When I get hold of the big bad wolf, I push him under the ground. Then I bite him in a million bits, and I go pull him right down.
From child stardom, Shirley Temple went on to become a wife, mother, ambassador, and author. Her new autobiography is called Child Star, and Shirley Temple Black joins us this morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Harry.
Great to see you.
Nice to be here. This is my debut in New York.
The book tour.
Yes.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You were perfect in the movies. That image of you, you were the greatest little girl anybody could possibly imagine.
Thank you.
I mean, that's what America felt, certainly, during those very, very tough times. Did you know about that? I mean, did you know about the image that you were projecting, or were you just working?
I was working. When I asked my mother, why are people saying, I love you, Shirley, and hi, Shirley, and Shirley, Shirley, she'd say, because your pictures make them happy. She just dusted it off. She was a special woman.
You dedicated the book to your mother.
That's right.
Did she push you at all?
No, I pushed her, I think. She put me in dancing school when I was little because I had so much energy. And she thought maybe that would help get some of that energy out of me. And I was discovered in the dancing school and went to work at Fox Studio eventually. And that's when I became child star.
There is such a stereotype about kids who are in show business about pushy mothers, and they're depressed and they have tough times and all those kinds of... Were you happy during those years when you were working so much?
This book is about my love for my profession and my love for my mama. My father and brothers were very important, and it was a close, loving family. But primarily, I can't think of any profession that could have been better for me than that one. I just loved it.
There have been a lot of other books written about you. Was it a feeling, it's time to sort of set the record straight here a little bit?
Absolutely, yeah. There have been probably 12 biographies written about me over the years, and most of them are terribly inaccurate, and I wanted to set the record straight, and I also wanted to tell the story of what it was like being a child in that particular time of our history. It was a very interesting time in our country, as it always is.
Did you know about the Depression?
Well, I was working, and I figured everybody was. I didn't realize that there were the bread lines and the problems that were going on too much. And I worked every day.
How did studios treat kids who worked in that time?
Well, when I was a starlet, which was a year and a half of my life, between 3 and 4.5, that was a pretty hard time. They were pretty hard on us. But
what did they do to kids, for instance? The story of people being put in boxes and whatnot if they didn't hit their marks and all that.
That was true, but there was another story that I think is more interesting than the box, which I recovered from very well. Still like the dark and still like ice. But they wanted a whole lot of little children to run down a jungle path, and they wanted them all to fall down at the same time. Mm-hmm. And so what they did was to string a wire across the path, and all these little children, they were little black boys, they came running along and all fell at once and cut their legs and were in a little heap crying. Mm-hmm. And I started to cry. It was the story of Tarzan and Jane. Mm-hmm. Hey, Jane, mm-hmm. you know. And they did things like that, which were pretty rough. Another time we had an ostrich pulling a cart that Georgie Smith, my co-star, we were in the cart together, and they took the hood off of the ostrich, as the camera went to speed. And the ostrich went bonkers. And he went racing across the set with these, he looked back at me, and his eyes were the size of, you know, big baseballs.
Yeah, right.
And these big black eyes. And he went crashing, knocking lights down. The crew was scattered and finally ran into a wall. And we got dumped out of the cart. And, you know, but it's okay, because how many kids get to ride behind an ostrich?
I guess not
You
too
know.
many. Shirley Temple did, though, indeed. Thanks.
Now
very
read
much for coming.
Child Star,
Well, I will.
McGraw-Hill.
As soon as the
I'm gonna
as soon as the
test
political
you.
season is over.
Okay.
It's 11 minutes before the hour.